Q&A, part 3, following a public service announcement um, to the clans across the land, continuity of government, team, and the U.S. military. All right, so now let me go see who on here. You first say you're unable to join. Wait a minute, did you just come on?
Nah, that's
He's
that's that's me, OG. You know you could add the goddess. You know what I mean? Ladies first. You know how that go, OG.
okay. I'm gonna bring in a couple of sisters. Then I'm gonna try to pull you back up. Request again.
Triple salute, OG. You know what it
For
is. We'll chop it up.
sure. Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Peace to the God.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How you
You
been?
glowing? Where's
I
all these women
am.
glowing tonight? What y'all got going on?
Oh, peace to
Looking like
Oshun.
Oshun daughter
That's
herself.
why I said peace to Oshun. Like she been working wonders in my life. Just the everything about it. You happy too?
Yeah, I can't be helped but be happy seeing y'all glowing like this.
Yeah. I did the land bank today. I had a course with NACA and just going over the fact that our ancestors did leave us land. It's up to y'all to do the work and track your family lane back because our ancestors did leave us land.
Look,
And just to go back
e-
and get it.
even if they didn't, sweetie, I'm gonna tell you a secret. They left us a method to seize the whole land of the earth.
Speak about it.
That's part of the redemption process.
Okay.
And that's what Empress Rarebird is exercising her blood right to draw the matriarchs together and raise the matriarchal government back up to its original position so that these legal fictions can be done away with. And the matriarch's first order of business is food, clothing, and shelter for everybody.
Facts.
So
I'm
it's
feeling you.
happening in real time, and that's part of what the public noticed that this Q&A following is the alert that you about to start telling the military it's time to roll this shit out because we're running out of time to prepare for our celebration next year.
Okay. So I got a real thing that's happening right now. I have been having the wildest dreams. I was in a dream and I met somebody. And I said, yo, I'm dreaming. You dreaming? She said, yeah, I'm dreaming. I'm like, yo, can you meet me in real life here? This is my Instagram name. This is everything. I met a person that I was dreaming with in real life. Explain it. Because my mind is still blown and I feel crazy telling people, and so does she.
Okay, so y'all first got to have a sympathetic link. That means a common point of interest that ties y'all together. Y'all have to be working on a similar issue.
We are.
One of y'all start making progress, the other one is looking for assistance. The energy flow under the mitochondrial resonance will match the seeker with the finder.
Okay.
So it's a form of telepathy. It's group dreaming. The women used to do it regularly to solve problems. That's why they are
And
always more
we
advanced
both
than the
do have a
men.
common problem.
Right. So in the one of y'all got this, or y'all might both have a different part of the coin that solves the problem.
Okay.
So it's like your bestie from 15 lifetimes ago said, meet me at the close of the age. And you had your piece to the heart, and I'm gonna have my piece to the heart, and that's gonna make us have to come together because we can't read it unless we match them.
Okay, this is crazy to me. Well, I gotta stop saying crazy because in this paradigm, nothing's crazy anymore. It just blew my mind because I'm not as much people like, oh, I dream, I dream. I'm not a dreamer. Everybody has dreams, but half the time you don't remember them. This dream, it was like it was real. And I'm standing next to her and I'm like, I'm dreaming. She was like, so am I. And I'm like, yo, where? I'm like, I'm from Jersey. She was like, so am I. And I'm like, yo, can you meet me here? I was like, yo, if this is real, we're going to be able to remember this and we'll meet up with each other. And since then, we have met up with each other. And we have literally, it's like we live the same exact life. And it's the craziest thing I've ever experienced. And it also lets me know that we are now in a time that we've never been in before. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to think, whatever you want to be, you can be it. You can, as long as you think it, all
Is
that's
she
left for you to do is pull it out of your mind. This,
is she a daughter of Oshun too?
yes, yes, yes.
Listen, do a Oshun offering bowl.
Okay, what do I need?
Anything that Oshun would like. She like yellow
Yellow.
corn.
Oh, okay,
She like papaya, pineapple. Um, most of the stuff, the fruits and vegetables that's yellow and orange, um,
okay,
it's all used as offerings to Oshun.
okay. Do I
Right
formally
now,
know?
listen, chop it up in the bowl.
Okay,
You and her sit across from each other, face to face,
okay.
and y'all present the offering bowl to Oshun. One of y'all got to be the priestess, and one of y'all have to be the parishioner.
One priest, one parishioner.
Right,
Okay.
and put y'all palms together like y'all holding hands up like this, and
Mm-hmm.
then like y'all fingers.
Okay.
And then ask Oshun, why did y'all agree to meet at this time?
Okay. And I know she gonna tell me.
She
I
gonna
have,
give y'all an answer.
I have a really
That way you
good
don't
relationship.
have to get it from me.
I'm all for it because you want to know what? I want to thank you for like I don't know how many of the family actually will DM Rod. He might not get back to you right away, but he'll get back to you a long time ago. I want to say like last year. I'm like, yeah, you got to tell me the story of Lilith. You got to tell me. And you sent me a video because it was like she kept talking to me and it was like she was very prevalent in me. So, and it was like she kept coming to me in dreams and telling me, like, yo, they got it wrong. That's not me. That's the wrong story. And to actually see what it is and see how she correlates to all these different movies and texts and everything that's been playing out, to realize she is the divine woman that was hushed, that they tried to trick to have sex with a golem, and she wouldn't do that because that went against our humanity. And to see the difference between like people who are androids and real humans, it like actually put it into play for me. Thank you, because you started all of that. You started all of that. Now my last question, and I'm gonna let somebody else get on. The distractions between the Diddy saga and what's really going on in the world, as far as them unlocking the gate at CERN, as far as them finding eight, as far as them thinning the veil to unlock the veil between like dimensions. Is all of that tying into each other? And how does that correlate to us rising as a people?
So Diddy had a function to perform, right?
Okay.
The chain reaction of the Diddy investigation is going to bring to the forefront the dirty deeds of some very powerful people. So the freak off parties was to prove by video evidence the dirt that was being done at the freak off parties.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy just so happened to be in the position to be a host to these parties,
Mm-hmm.
right? His job was to hold on to Clive Davis no matter what happened. Weather the storm, hold on to Clive Davis because he behind Whitney, he behind Bobby Christina, he behind Aaliyah, he behind Phyllis Hyman, he behind all of those people you see him in the pictures with that he worked with that ended up broken, destitute, or dead by his call. He ain't getting away. And did he have to hold on to the bear till we figure out how to bring him to his ruin? Yep.
Okay.
He was behind Aretha, right? Trying to exploit her as a child. Good thing she had her daddy there to fend
Yeah.
yeah, because OCL didn't play about Aretha.
Yeah.
Aretha was one of the highest ranked matriarchs, is why her funeral was done the way it was done.
Absolutely.
She was the queen. But we don't know that because we don't remember who people are in our culture, and we accept the foreigner's culture to override ours, so we couldn't even recognize her for who she was while she was here. All we
Okay.
could do was,
Brother, speaking of foreigners' culture, I am so mad at African people. Have you heard about us going over there being unalive because they don't look at us as African?
we ain't.
And them getting upset at us and say, oh, don't say you're going to African hair braiders, just say you just find out where they're from and find out their name and everything. And like, yo, so we are not African Americans. We're not anything African because Africans have made it very clear that we can't come back over there like that, and we're not African.
Well, we weren't never from over there.
But do you realize the void that's leaving in a lot of people's places, especially probably some people? It's 158 people watching this right now. That's probably leaving a void that they identify as African American because that's what we've been identifying as.
Thank Jesse Jackson for that. That was his brain fart.
I didn't know that. So what? So we're indigenous people.
Yes, we. I only indigenous is not accurate enough. Native is not accurate enough.
Right. So what are we?
Organic to the land, sovereigns of the earth.
Organic to the land, sovereign to the earth. Okay.
That's what we are. The land that you and I are sovereign to is called Turtle Island.
True. Iroquois tribe. Are any of us part of them? Because we helped draft the Constitution that was to enslave us. So how did we allow that to happen?
Their Constitution didn't enslave us. It's the theft and the rewriting of their Constitution. And then the switch out with a secondary Constitution written in the blood of Crispus Attucus in
Where
the
can I
American
find that
Revolution.
book? I can't find anything on Crispus Attucus. Where can I look to find about Crispus Attucus? I have looked everywhere.
Inbox me and I'll send you some information on Crispus Attucus.
Okay, I will. I'm excited about
But if you go to the George Washington Masonic Memorial webpage and you look at the U.S. Constitution, it's going to look like it's written in rusty ink.
Okay.
That's blood.
So
That's
George.
dry blood of Crispus Attucus. They
Okay, and then
could
isn't that
never.
over?
Right, yeah. That ended July the 4th, 2019.
Okay.
July the 6th, I answered because none of the other chiefs answered.
Because they in jail.
Well, it's other chiefs on the land that could have answered that got the blood and the right, just like me. It's
Okay.
just that they didn't, apparently they didn't know what to do, or they didn't know the signal to look for.
Okay.
But it don't mean they got less of a right to reclaim the land than I do. It just means that I knew what to do at the right time to make sure that we were successful. And the ones who didn't know, they still doing their work, which is going to be to their benefit.
Okay. Got
I'm
it.
just the one who seen the sign and then acted up on it,
Got it.
right? And because I acted up on it, they surrendered the foundational um allodial title that they drew up when they first started to seize the land to Empress
Okay.
Rarebird 13 days later. That's Queen Mother Seals.
Okay.
On the 19th, Sacred Seal.
Okay.
July is 7. I'm number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then question. Okay, so my chief was Asada, who was Empress Redbird to me.
Okay, so Asada is an advisor to Empress Rarebird.
Okay.
Asada will be coming home with full state recognition and a whole fucking parade
So my chief
down the
still is
New
Asada.
Jersey Turnpike. We gonna shut that bitch down when she
And
get
I'm gonna
here.
be there. What? I know.
So all of the girls with the afros that call themselves Black Girl Magic, them her girls.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm gonna be there. I can't wait. That's my
Yeah.
chief. Shout out to
Angela
Asada.
Davis is a priestess of Asada. Um, what's the lady
Mm-hmm.
name played in the movies? What's my girl name? Pam Grier.
And prayer.
She is a priestess of Asada.
Mm-hmm. Like that's my chief. And I'm so
Shaka
happy she coming
Khan.
home.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's a priestess of Asada. So all of them use the system of magic that's tied to Asada as the one who is the primary target of the enemy.
Okay.
So
Where does the
they
other
can
lady
flip her
play? Where's the
messages
other
to
lady
the.
play in, brother? The other lady that be spilling Jaguar Wright. Where does she play in? She been spilling all the tea, and nobody say nothing about this chick. Jaguar be spilling all the tea. Is the tea hot or is the tea like okay? That's something for show. Because nobody ever checked this lady. Nobody ever say nothing. Jaguar Wright and the other little crazy boy. They be talking all that mess, and nobody ever say nothing about
You
them.
talking about Orlando Brown?
Yes, you know exactly the crazy boy. Yeah. Are they
Listen,
are they telling the truth or are they agents and distractions?
uh, okay, so Jaguar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what a Jaguar is, right?
Yes.
It's called a panther.
Yes. Black Panther. And they work with the Black Panthers too.
Right?
So
Listen,
she says.
totem animal, Jaguar. Tribal affiliation, totem.
Mm-hmm.
Homonym by sound, but spelt different, right? Her
Mm-hmm.
name tell us who she is, but the only way to know if she is doing well the priest work, right?
Jaguar's right.
She have to be telling the truth, raw, brutal, and as vicious and vile as she can. The reason why it got to be vicious and vile, because to our people, we gossip hustlers.
Mm-hmm. The
So,
grapevine.
so when we hear her, it sounds like she giving us the juicy tea, but she actually giving us unadulterated evidence, proof, verification, information that comes out later. When she say it, you don't see it, but when you once she said it, you can't unhear it. So then when you see it, she already said it. Now you like, hold up, who is this chick? Now she named other people that she was working with. One of them was a guy by the name of Gene Deal.
She waiting on him, right? That's the one she said she waiting on, right? to give us
listen,
evidence.
listen. Gene Deal said once she named him, you looking at the conclusion of a Tupac conjure, we already won. Cat Williams' second product, his second project was called Catpocalypse,
Yes.
right? Because that he's mimicking is Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
And Tupac's first album was Tupacalypse Now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Cat Williams is the second, because his second project is Catpocalypse.
Uh-huh.
It's a relay race. I'm
Okay.
picking up the
The
baton.
Joker starts. Jaguar is running with it. Like, yo, so who's
Jaguar
the
Wright also mentioned Cat
He
Williams
did.
in the same interview she mentioned Gene Deal.
He did. Just
She also said that she got information directly from Kim Porter, but she ain't ready to release it yet. Kim Porter
okay.
had the juicy tea.
Kim Porter was about to drop that book.
That book ain't had nothing that was that incriminating in it, and that's why they took her out the picture. I don't think she did.
Mm. Really? Mm. Why not?
Because she had her cause of death is speculative. The way that
Very,
they describe it is
very
unclear.
much.
So she just laid there and just died for no reason, with no cause of death.
Very,
It
very
just
much
don't
so.
make sense.
I'm not the only one that thinks that. So you might have something there. I'm with you. I got to do some research. I got to do the gematria on her name. I'm gonna find out. Very much so. There's so much. Okay, and then I know. Do anybody else want to get on? Because I can ask brother for questions forever. Because our next question is about the weather. Okay, this weather is Mother Nature letting us. Is Mother letting us know that the ice age is over and she not playing with us? Because I thought the days of darkness were gonna be for all of us. However, Texas is getting hit. Texas is getting thrown every which way but loose. There are tornadoes, hurricanes. It is Jersey, and we are in our 80s and 90s. I believe the ice age is over. The Dead Sea is not the Barren Sea, like where the Dead Sea and everything is, and it's like dry and everything. There is green, there's water there. Are we experiencing the flip right now? And how long before it's like it's fully in effect? Because right now people are kind of like, oh, it's the end of the days. I don't believe the days are going to end. But are we at the beginning, middle, or are we still in the hardship phase of what's going on?
We moving into abundance, first off. The weather anomalies that we see in greenery popping up in Saudi Arabia, popping up in dry places in the southwestern America, the desert regions being flooded.
Yes.
Back in January, the core of the earth stopped and reversed its spin. The reason it happened is because the planet ship Nibiru is close enough in orbit to affect the core of the earth. But because of they normally cause disaster when they come through. Because they only come through every 3,600 years,
Okay.
right? This time, they not allowed to let Nibiru flip the crust of the Earth. That means they have to change their orbit to affect Earth core because they can't change their total orbit, but they can change certain patterns in the orbit for them to cause the least amount of disruption to other civilizations.
What about Apophis though? Apophis will be making its appearance under our satellites by the year 2039. And if it goes through the keyhole, it's going to wipe out Cali and everything over there. What's going on? Do you know anything about Apophis right now?
Yeah, Apophis comes on the trail of the Nibiru.
Okay.
It's 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 in the tail. That's why it's always looking like it's chasing the eagle, or that it's in the eagle's foot.
Pause. Okay. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. I got to get my book. Because you just. Yes, brother. Oh my God. He just.
So in Egyptian lore, for those who know what she's talking about, Apophis is the chaos demon that Osiris fights as he travels throughout the galaxies on his great boat. He had to have a spearman at the front of the boat, which is called the bow, and one at the rear, in order that Apophis raised his dragon head, they can smite him. This is symbolized in the earth languages, the symbol of the eagle holding the serpent in its talons, right? That's Apophis on the heels of earth
OMG. Just
as it's
talking.
in its geomagnetic shape is the eagle. It's the eagle, but you can't see the face of the
And I
eagle.
circled it too. You just saw this from me. I'm going to DM you something that is crazy. If y'all don't have this book by Manly P. Hall called The Secret Teachings of All Time, y'all need to get it. It is like the quintessential, like,
That's
I
the
want to call it the.
one where the picture I was telling you I was translating on that video, reading science in real time. That picture in that book you holding.
Which, okay.
It's the picture of the old man sitting on the throne.
I got it. It's a lot of old men. Is it in the beginning or the end?
It's one of the pictures. The
What's the
picture
name?
should
You
be
know the
in
name of
the
it? You know the
section by
name of
itself.
You know the name of it?
Uh,
Because I got
Melchizedek.
Mount Chisedek. I got a lot of Mount Chisedek stuff in here. Yo, like everything that's in this book is reading like it's creepy. It's creepy. And if nobody has this book, it's an old book. I'm not sure if you can get this copy. It's by Manly P. Hall. It's called The Secret Teachers of All Time. The new one looks all
Secret Teachers
fluffy,
of all
of
ages.
all ages. Sorry. It's got like everything on it. I'm trying to see. Because when you were saying it, I was looking at it. Because I had to find it. Because at that time, you literally said it and I was able to pull it up. But everything that's
Show us the
going.
picture you went to go pull up.
Oh, okay. So in this book, the pictures, it literally tells you at what times what happens. So I have been breaking this down for a minute. So this is the point of axis of the earth. So this is the point of axis of the earth is how we spin and where we are. I'm gonna show it to you guys again. So this, if we're in alignment and everything is all right, you'll be going like this. You see, I wrote notes there because some other weird stuff is happening. I put like point of man. That's the point of man. So what Rod just literally told me about what's about to happen with Apophis and the fact that it's the tail that chases the dragon. Like I have been like literally everything's bookmarked and I've torn this book to pieces, so y'all gotta bear with me.
The name of the book is Secret Teachings of
Of
All
all
Ages
ages.
by Manly P. Hall.
So right now with this, it's written in Greek, so you can't catch it. But where I just highlighted, this is what they're gonna call the keyhole right here. So this line here, this is the keyhole. This is the orbit that Apophis is taking right now.
Now you know that's called the Lam symbol right there.
Yes. And that's why I
If
made
you
title.
flip it upside down, it's the circle 7.
I know. And when you just said it's the dragon's tail and that's why it chases it, and it also equates to the fisher of men. When they're telling you he will return, it's a J. It's
Yeah.
making like it's the
But the
fisher
J
of men.
is the fish hook to symbolize the
Yeah, I
fishing
will make thee the
for.
fisher of
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
So when you
most
just
people don't know that the fisher of men is the mermaid,
Isis.
right?
And that goes back to Lilith and everything else. That's why I
Yeah.
told him I was like, yo, she's like, no, you need the complete story in order to get it. And then she's like, yo, track me back. Look, any woman who took her throne and kind of was saying no to what they were trying to do with men was demonized, and it was like, yo, this is not the way.
Like Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa with the snake.
Medusa is actually the story of Lilith.
It is.
Lilith was the leader of the Gorgon priestesses that the Egyptian priests sent to civilize Greece.
Hmm.
They were side priestesses, which comes out of the doula schools, but they know how to nurture the best nature of children that they raise. So they were sent to nurture the nature of the children of the newcomers and to give them civilization. The first school was established on the island of Crete. When they say she made people turn to stone was a metaphor that she was so gorgeous that once you seen her,
They
you was fucked
froze.
up
And
and
that's
you
what
can't even move. Like,
they
holy
gave you
shit,
a
she
hint.
gorgeous.
They gave you a hint. The first scene, one of the first scenes in Black Panther, when you see her, don't freeze. That was Medusa. He was going to get Medusa out of the woods from helping the children. They gotta tell you the truth. Like, they gotta
And
tell you
who
the
she
truth.
turned out to be? One of the generals of the army, right?
Hmm. Who he wanted to marry, and she was beautiful and he loved her. And the crazy thing about it is they gave you an actress that was named most beautiful woman in the world.
Okay, now, once they took her from the Egyptian family tree, they put her in the Greek pantheon. They changed her name from Medusa, which is actually her rank title.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Helen.
Mm-hmm. Helen of Troy.
Right. Now, Helen was, when they say Medusa was beheaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where she beheaded. Helen was the female goddess that Hellenism is named after, which is Greek culture. This is your Greek fraternities and sororities with their Greek letters,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they reminding us of the story of the beheading of Medusa. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Rome infiltrates Greece under Alexander, the son of Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
Zeus is in Sumeria, is Enlil.
Yes.
His son is the usurper, the one who comes to steal the birthright of another. Why
Okay.
Alexander the Great was
Okay.
put in the royal house to take the birthright of his brother, Esau and Jacob,
Jacob. Okay.
by grabbing him by his heel
Okay.
as he was becoming the king or being born into his rulership.
Grab him by his heel as he's become. They sound familiar.
And the book is telling you that when Esau and Jacob was in the womb, they wrestled. And Esau came out first, but Jacob grabbed Esau by the heel to steal his birthright.
Okay, so it's the War Brothers. We always been taught the same three stories. It's the War Brothers. It's always that story between the brothers, whether you're watching cartoons or anything, and that's gonna always be. Are we gonna still be in that time loop of the fighting
This
brothers?
is the breaking of that.
Okay.
So, in order to break that generational curse, that came from Enki and Enlil's feud in ancient Samaria. When we get to the close of the age, somebody got to have an opportunity to go to war with his brother and choose to love his brother through the trauma.
Okay. Now, do we see that right now with the America-China war that's about to take place that they're slowly brewing?
Remember, I told you scare tactics to keep you in a perpetual
Yeah,
state of fear.
propaganda.
So as soon as you see these National Guard troops, you're gonna think we at war with China. So you can panic.
Mm-hmm.
Don't panic.
I'm
They
not.
this is the predictive programming to cause the panic when the organic people of the land send the national military to remove brass from police stations and judges off benches,
Okay.
right? The people need to be aware of that we have to get rid of the people that's oppressing the people if we ever want to be free.
Very true.
So we use what they use to oppress us, and we sick them on the oppressive regime and make them take their own self out.
But
Now,
how?
that's not our problem. That's their problem to clean up,
But how
right?
are they going to clean up when right now they're making us choose between two of the lesser? You are now entering into an election where you have to vote for Biden or Trump. What happened to Robert F. Kennedy?
You're not gonna have an election.
They're going forward as if we are.
They're supposed to. That's the illusion. It's a David Copperfield trick. Even if they have a fake ass election, it's just a story. Ain't
Truth.
none of them motherfuckers real. It's 3 Trumps. It's about 9 Joe Bidens.
Cut it out. Yes,
It's
very
about
true.
6 Obamas. It's about 4 Michelle. Why they need all these lookalikes? What the fuck is they doing?
Yeah, that part. As far as the skinwalkers, the people who they are now wearing other people's skin. How so my
Those
biggest
are
thing,
agents. They using that's the newest technology of espionage to put on a skin mask in order to not be recognized by facial recognition.
how do we as people, as ordinary people, recognize them? Because normally if they talk to you, you can ask them the 3 questions and they have to answer. Like, what is your purpose here? What is your business here? They have to answer, and what is your name? Like that's
Let's
naturally.
say
Let's say
that applies to psychic self-defense as well.
okay.
You are, as a sovereign being, anybody that come to break your bubble, and you ask them, who are you? What do you want? And who sent you? They obligated by universal law to tell you the truth, whether they want to or not. Soon
Facts.
as they try to lie, you gonna know it. And you know how the sisters is. Don't you prep your lips to tell me that goddamn lie you about to tell me.
This we got this. Ladies, we got this because we not playing with nobody. Like,
Y'all,
yeah, exactly. Who
you
sent you?
have to learn to read energy. The
I have seen
women,
the wildest things.
yeah. Look, you have senses that they told you to ignore. That gives you your greatest ability to see the frauds.
Okay.
Why do you think they told you to ignore it? They must be the ones committing the fraud.
Facts. That's okay. So I feel like Black women have been under attack for a very long time. And
Ever since Linda,
and I do want to tell fellas right now, all this, what does a woman bring to the table? Oh, she's a gold digger. Oh, this. I just want to put it out there right now for any man that's watching this. A woman is a multiplier in a mirror. So if you see a gold digger, that's what you are. If you see chaos, that's what you are. Because whatever you give a woman, she's going to multiply it and give it back to you. That's all we are.
see, that's the problem right there. You're going to multiply and give it
Period.
back. And, and most of these guys can't take the shit they dish out, let alone take it multiplied in return. That's not my fault. That's
Period.
why I don't. That's why I don't feel about women the way these other guys feel about women.
Because I've known you forever. You ain't never been sorry, sorry, Instagram, no pussy hungry nigga. Nobody like, oh, well, let me see you naked. Or what's going, like, yo, you are a positive force. You're a teacher, you're a provider, and you're always there. If you are in your right place as a man, you're a provider, you're a protector, you are here. And you're going to do whatever you can, when you can, how you can, and you're going to tell somebody that's not on their right path, no, then it's no problem. If you see women as nothing but opportunists, that is because that is what you are. And when you get with somebody and you're not sitting on your square, you're not in your right position, they are now mirroring you. Whatever you give, the woman is going to multiply it. So, like that's the oldest teaching. You give a woman a house, she's going to give you a home. You give her a seed, she's going to give you a baby. You give her some food, she's going to give you a whole meal. She's going to multiply it. So stop listening to these memes and these different, oh, what do you bring to the table? Woman don't bring nothing to the table but herself because that's all she needed. Because she can create more people and everything else. It could just be her.
But
She meet a guy, she
listen,
going to get a whole bunch of other
it
people.
don't matter what a woman bring to the table if the table she bringing it to have an incompetent workman on the other side.
That part. And it's going to be
It don't
multiplied.
matter whatever she bring to the table, I can work with it.
So see, look, now you're here. Now, what they have as women bringing to the table are your sexy reds, your Sukianas, your bad girls club, all of these different agents working. How, as a woman, do I work to make sure that my kids, the younger girls who listen to me, they like them? How do I make myself not be a hater?
Let me tell you a secret.
And that's what I need to know. Let's go, brother.
Those girls like them as entertainment, but they watch you for interpretation. If because they like her don't make you act like her, they gonna act like you act, and they gonna perceive her as, oh, she's a good artist, and she's not the kind of person I would like to be. Right?
Okay.
And as long as you walking in that glow you walking in, they will rather have that than the spotlight of Hollywood.
I don't know, brother. They willing to like with everything that we're telling them, they still on it.
They do that as a peer group entertainment phenomenon, something that the peer group does. But to role model, they gonna try to role model where they see the greatest amount of feminine expression of beauty. When they see you, they ain't thinking about no goddamn sexy red. No,
No,
not the sexy red,
it's
but
still
that's a knock
hard.
the sexy red shit.
It's still
Because
hard.
when you the grace betrays the noble character.
Okay. And then next question. Palestine. With them killing all the babies and them being like, is that our fight as black people? Is that our fight? Should we be like, oh my God, save Palestine? Because I don't feel anything. And it's bad, it is horrible, and it's genocide, and
Wait,
it's messed
wait,
up.
wait. I see what's going on over there too.
Okay.
The only time I speak on that bullshit is when it's related to us over here.
That's what I need to know. Is it related to us over here?
Only as reading energy signatures of the fall of the system.
I figured that because I don't have any like, oh my God, I gotta go. We gotta do something. I don't.
Okay, what you watching play out over there is a raging cancer in the body,
Okay.
right? So the symptom is going to cause the surgeon to have to go in and extract the core of the cancer in order to heal the entire body.
Okay.
This was performed in warrants from the International Court of Criminal Justice and for war crimes against the upper tier of the government over there that's ordering these slaughters.
Okay.
Right.
So the slaughters
Right.
are ordered.
But all that is a sensationalized drama designed to make us stop reclaiming our land and watch that fairy tale play out over there of somebody who think God chose them above all nations of the earth to give them some dirt in the Middle East on top of some oil.
Very true.
If God would have chose them people like he chose us, they would have been organic to somewhere on the planet. Think about that for a minute. When we say that our ancestors chose us, it's different from they God chose them. They God had to go in and murder a whole nation of people in order to give his people something. Our God just made us grow up from the land. We from here.
But that's the thing. A lot of us don't know that.
It don't matter. Enough of us do, and the right ones that need to know in order to effectuate the change, they are aware and active.
Facts. The 144.
So you see me, but you also see Yaki Awaken.
Same thing.
You also
You
see
see me?
Seven Bomar. You also see Red Pill, Blue Pill.
Yes.
You also then don't forget we still got elders that's active,
Yes.
right? And they all telling the same thing now. Did we, the organic people, came to come back for what's ours? And we know what y'all did. We know who did it, when they did it, how they did it, where it was concocted at, who concocted it, how many was in the room. When they laid that dirt out, we know who rolled out the dirt, who played the left hand, who played the right hand, who played that shitty motherfucker in the middle. We know it all
I want to
because
say
they
that
left
that
the
broke my heart
records.
though. That broke my heart though. In decoding that and finding out that, like, when I always said they, I always picture white people. That broke my heart. And then it
You,
also broke my heart even more to know that Noble Jew Ali, in those pictures he left, I'm so thankful to him that he was able to leave those pictures in very few writings, but in those pictures and those writings, you knew that somebody was out here fighting for you, where they kind of was trying to show you, and it just took for you to have the knowledge. Now, my question is this, because I've seen Jay-Z and Beyonce put these images in their music, like the video Ape Shit. When they were in that weird ass museum, they're like, yo, why are they showing us this? Is this them telling us our history because they have to, or telling us that they kind of stole it? Like, what part does that play in?
look, 444, I got the keys. I'm black. I'm going ape shit like a nigga in Paris. Now, the nigga in Paris is the ones who signed what's known today as the Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
That's how we got the statue.
These are the motherfucking sellouts. What none of them from over here that was signing that document. So now these niggas in Paris is going ape shit. They erected the tower because that's where I fell. At the hands of the Dirty Moors. They sent us the Statue of Liberty, the drag queen.
I said the Statue of Liberty. We're
The
gonna get in
drag
drag.
queen. To let us know that it was a drag race against drag queens across the land, masquerading as the matriarchs, pretending to be our government.
With the wigs and everything.
This is
Yeah.
the March of the Mares. A mare is a female horse.
Meg the
So why is
Stallion.
all these men sitting their testicles in Big Mama's seat in the town? Think about that for a minute. It's a drag
And
race.
I thought that when they made, who was Bruce? Because Bruce turned woman when he was facing that trial. When he was about to go to jail for murder, all of a sudden you turned into a woman. Remember he got into the car accident and all of a sudden you're the chick. Like, it's weird. Oh,
Listen,
shoot. Hold on, brother.
okay. I think they're gonna drop her out. I think I can let somebody else in. Yeah, so the drag race across the land, chasing the drag queen. The men dressed up to be women are the men who sits in the seat of the mayor, because the mayor is the mother of the town, and the mother of the town has a clerk that is her spokesman, who just so happens to be her counterpart, or what we would call husband. But in the formalities of common government, this would just be a person she hired to read into the public domain her edicts for the allocation of resources, what's available, how can we make it available, what can the people do, you know what I'm saying, or what do they need help with in their community. We know these people that do that. Send these people to go give these people help. It's because all of the big mamas is connected. Grapevine, right? So, um, Mia, 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 Mia. Yes. So that's that Statue of Liberty is actual drag queen. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for bringing me back on. Sorry that we got disconnected, I guess.
That's okay.
I'm not gonna hold you long. I guess I want to pick back up, where I left off at. You were speaking about the flip about how I'm from Oxford, North Carolina, and you were right down the street from Oxford, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what I left off at was that how I entered. My parents had me very, very young. My mother was 12 and my father was 16. So my grandma did all the raising, right? And, a lot of how I came up and how I was brought up in a small town, I think no more than like 4,000 people, if that. Um, you grew up with your cousins and your cousins lived down the street and, and all that good stuff from the country. But a lot of stuff that was taught to me and that was, instilled in me from my grandmother was passed down, from her mother and her mother's mother and all that good stuff. But as I sit back and I look at, what's taking place and, how literally I've chosen to be incarnated in these times that we're in and putting the pieces together and listening to great teachers as yourself and Blue Pill and Yaki and my good brother B-Dale and a couple of others, just putting things together for myself. I often find myself trying to take what's being said and rewrite it in a way to where it can be, I guess, decoded for the people back at home. Because when I go back home with this, it's like, what is she talking about? What's going on? But the bloodline is so deep there and so rich there, that it's like a yearn for me to want to show them and want to tell them what's going on. Um, I guess so. My question would be, being that we're ushering in this matriarch energy, and for the people from the small towns, like as myself, or the people that seem quote unquote small, even though I know there's many of us here everywhere. What is the best way, or in what way should I continue to go about carrying out the mission?
Well, it depends on your skill set, right? What was you already doing? Because when you get drafted to do this spiritual work, the life that you live in is either training you for it or it's the path you walking on your spiritual journey unfolding is the life you live
Mhm.
in, right? When you have a particular set of skills, those skills, like I know how to read codes.
Mhm.
So the tribes need me to read the codes so I can tell everybody what's going on behind the scenes based on the codes I'm reading,
Mhm.
right? You might have a different skill.
Teaching. Love.
So
I love. Yeah.
remember, the teacher's job is to free the child's mind to see the future they want to live.
Right.
So you can spend time with children, teaching them to see bigger than the life around them because life is bigger, and the bigger life is, the more beautiful it glows.
Mhm.
You teach them about the gold in their heart, those things that make you feel warm and fuzzy. Keep
Mhm.
doing that shit because it's making that gold in your heart grow. You tell the children the stuff that make you smile real big, that's what you want to do more of to make that gold in your heart grow.
Right.
The stuff that make you feel bad that you did it, that's slowing down that gold from growing that's in your heart, right? And by exercising the golden rule, treating people how you want to be treated, then you don't build up the negative energy and you begin to see life as a beautiful opportunity to experience this 3D reality before you go back into the non-feeling spirit realm,
Mhm.
right? It teaches them to free their mind. When you tell a child they can do anything, you got to give them examples of what you mean,
Right. Absolutely.
right? And we gonna be when the matriarchy fully online, we gonna be doing resort schools for people that homeschool to come in and learn how to use certain psychic abilities for gifted children, and they all gifted.
Mhm.
You just got to find out and teach them how to tap into their psychic strengths, which is
Right.
like teaching the X-Men how to control his superpower.
Mhm. Agree. I agree. I agree. Uh, just thinking about what you're saying, my grandma used to always tell me, you can do anything, that you put your mind to. And everything that I touched, literally, I, grew up doing basketball, track, volleyball. I played 7 different instruments. I read music, just different avenues of, you know, her pushing me to express and find my, different ways. Um, Applying it now to my adulthood and listening to what you're saying, it is that warm, fuzzy feeling that you can attest that, just seeing people having that aha moment that, oh, I get it now, or especially seeing it in children where they already know. You just have to remind them of what they already know, what they're already coming into. you know um yeah, I feel like it's purpose in how I came up and where I've come up from. Especially, I'm still trying to figure out and learn, my whereabouts of where I came from, as far as being from North Carolina and deep rooted there. But just wanting to make sure that, I feel like the bloodline is in my hands, and just to be able to touch and reach everybody possible.
So it's stuff you can do community wise to like go to all the different churches and have a meeting and gather all of the different churches church mothers together.
Mm.
That's a matriarchal powerhouse unit waiting to be used by the matriarch.
Mm.
So all they have to do is select one as their senior representative
Mm-hmm.
to be put on the database and tell them what our resources are, what y'all need in y'all area, stuff like that. This next phase, when it come online, is going to be about food, clothing, and shelter.
Okay.
It's going to be about freeing political prisoners held by the corporate fiction. It's going to be the chief speaking to the masses to tell us that we was once out of control under the control of a foreign agency, but now we have regained control of the land and our resources.
Absolutely.
And we came back for everything they owe, and it just so happened they owed us everything.
Hmm. So going into the church, right? Because I was too raised in the church. You know, bringing that subject up about, I guess where we come from, how we came about, and all that good stuff. You kind of touch on the aspect of Christianity. You know, a lot of the church mamas, they ain't gonna want to hear that. About the whole what Christianity really is and all that good stuff.
You don't
So
have. That's not the point of bringing them
right,
together, though.
right,
You're not bringing them together to argue Christian ideology.
right.
They can still believe what they want to believe,
Mhm.
but you just asking them to be part of the matriarchal community that's in charge of getting resources to the people in your community. That's it. They can still hold on to their limiting beliefs as long as they believe in doing community work,
Right. Mhm.
right? Or as a church mother, fulfilling her church mother functions of picking people in her church to do community work according to what the interest of their church is. Some churches might want to have youth leagues
Mhm.
where they do things with the youth, but another group, another church might want to run food banks,
Right.
right? Another church might want to set up housing for homeless people and displaced mothers. See, but whatever they pick, they just trying to put a team together that can handle the resources getting to the people without the people being exploited.
Mhm. Hmm. I didn't think about it like that. As far as going back to my roots and how what I know, what I was raised off of. Going back
Mm-hmm.
to the familiarity of things and starting from there. I get so passionate though when it's time to start talking about like the truth because I what I really want is for everybody to be liberated. Even though I know everybody can't go, um, it's just still one of those things. It's like I want y'all to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really want y'all to get it so bad, so bad.
So when all this over, one of the things I'm gonna be doing from my house is sending for all my relatives to come in small groups.
Mhm.
But when they get there, um, I'm gonna have like my mother's sisters
Mhm.
and brothers gonna each have a book at my house. When they children come,
Mhm.
they get to fill in the family tree for that line, who they is, the children they had, the children that their children had,
Yeah.
right? So once I put all this together, then when we get down to newborn babies, I'm gonna duplicate it, and then all of the people in the book gonna get copies
Hmm.
of all of the books,
Right.
not just the one, right? And that way they know who is who in the family,
Mhm.
where they at, if they want to have a family gathering, how to contact everybody, right? But that's just, somebody else might have a different aspiration.
Right.
They might only want to deal with their grandmama's sister kids because they the only ones they like.
Mhm.
Okay? So that's just a different tribe with a different structure. Right. So they'll go hang out with them, but they would do something similar,
Hmm.
according to their wishes.
Right. Right. That's one thing I will always do. Like my grandmother now, she's 82 and she just stopped working fully about 2 months ago. So she's been working, strength, real strong strength. And one thing I'll always do, even from a little girl all the way up until now, I always be like, Grandma, tell me when, so and so, so and so. Grandma, how did y'all come up? And she has enlightened me from her mother and 3 mothers down past before her, and just the different ways of what we knew, and different ways of how traditionally what we've been taught, and I'm blessed to say that I can pass that down now to my daughter, like you're mentioning, leaving that book behind for her as well. So yes, sir, I
Mhm.
thank you so much.
Mhm. Yeah. That's th- all of those things is just reconstitute the tribes using modern understanding of society applied to ancient stuff we used to do. So Big Mama always had a book that she used before we had Bibles. They started writing them in the Bibles. But before that, Big Mama always kept a record of the time, the date, and the year that a child was born because she can go there and plot out his astrology chart, and then she know how to teach him to prepare for an obstacle in his life.
Mm,
Oh, I need to get this baby for a couple of weeks because he got this thing coming up.
right,
Right.
right.
She
Mm,
beating got so good at astrology over doing this with so many, she could just look at the birth dates now and
mm-hmm.
know what the stellar alignment is for that child and how best to help him navigate his future life obstacle so he can be successful in assimilating life lessons and applying them to his life as he grows. Different big mamas got different customs.
Right.
Some was palm
Mm-hmm.
readers. They call all the babies in and read their palms, right? Some was tarot readers. Some was cowrie shell readers, right? But they use them to always help the child navigate a difficult life process by having them pre-informed of what this could be coming up and how to adjust. So it's like having your own personal life strategist. That's why
Mm-hmm.
Big Mama get to know all her kids, even down to the great great grands, because she need to know which child she need to spend time with to prepare him for spiritual combat.
Right.
But it
Right.
don't look like that in the physical. It look like she just called in to have you bring the baby to see Big Mama.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
Right, go on, girl. I keep it for the weekend for you.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, she, putting protection energy on her, probably get the baby massages, whispering commands in her ear so she'll know when you face the demon, face him with no fear, stuff like that. Look, my man, France Fanon, right,
Mm-hmm.
wrote in one of his books, I think it was Thick Face Black Heart. He said, "Long gone are the days where the young mothers, would sing the songs of liberation in the ears of the child, so that the child can become the standing army of the next generation. Oh, bring back the mothers who sings the songs of liberation in the ears of the babes."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Go, boy, he cutting up over here." That was talking about returning to matriarchy,
Right.
getting
Absolutely.
from mothers saying my son bad to my child got a lot of energy. He a real boy.
Yes. Absolutely.
If you keep telling
Absolutely.
the child he bad, then he's going to meet your expectations of bad actions because you've programmed him to perform them well.
Absolutely. I say that a lot, especially with her. Everybody says, oh, she's so nosy. She's so no. She's observant. She's taking in information of her surroundings so that she can know, how to dissect and be able to, have her own sense of mind. I'm just here to give her the tools. She already knows what she needs to do.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So you teach them a sense of self when you tell them when you see the world, see yourself as the center, because
Mm-hmm.
you're the center of your own world. That means that you control it in layers away from you until you control the whole world. But you start with self first.
Right.
Be the change you want to see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it. And then thank you again for allowing me to come back on.
Mhm. You're welcome. I knew we had some technical difficulties, so
I like I said, I feel like I'm speaking for the small intricate people who's been placed throughout. You know, we have a lot to say,
look,
especially. Mm-hmm.
it's a lot we can do, but to tell you the truth, I don't really focus on it because most of us is too lazy to do it. Or if we got the ambition to do it, we too overwhelmed and occupied with our current day-to-day life. We can't find a way to get it done,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is more than the lazy.
Yeah.
It's more people that swamped with their life that can't help, but they want to help so bad, right? I accept that energy and I perform the function I'm performing. So the least amount of people is needed for the success of the total venture.
Mm-hmm.
As you need more people, you gradually start building and reaching out, and more people will come according to the awakening and the process that's taking place, right? So now we at the part where the matriarchy is in power. The government is seated, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's not fully seated. Mothers, clan mothers across the land need to make a network connection of clan mothers across the land,
Right.
right? That was the purpose of the original public service announcement earlier. And by connecting them, they solidifying the power of the matriarchs. And once we got every state represented sufficiently, then they can roll out resources into the community. But then we'll see that National Guard presence and other things playing out as they making the alliance. We watching the corporation crumble as they gain in strength and power.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do it is to link as many um, together as possible. And Empress Redbird gave the call last week for the clan mothers to begin to reach out. And we don't want to debate doctrine or philosophical differences. All we want is the clan mothers to agree to the great law and to make a connection across the land so that we can effectively enforce the great law from a tribal perspective as opposed to a military presence of a foreign agent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. I was once told, again from my grandmother, she said that once all the women's cycles started syncing together, that the world was changing. And lately, I can attest from not only friends, I've asked a few, co-workers, a lot of women's cycles have been, sinking, as far as some been saying that it's been doing something a little iffy, where it's been, coming on earlier, staying longer. Um, and then on top of that, I was taught how to, read the weather for what it is, how to, go outside and smell water in the air, and how to be able to, just be in tune with what's going on outside and the inside, so that you can be aware of the actual change that's approaching. So in attest to that, just being in alignment with all the mothers of the land, to get ready to. I feel like women are kind of bracing themselves right now for something that's great, even the ones that don't even understand what's going on. I honestly feel that, this change that's already here, but it's getting stronger. And sooner or later, we're not going to have no choice but to acknowledge what it is.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
Yes.
So the reason why their misses will sink is this: the elder women that's doing the spiritual work are like Tesla coils of energy. Every time they meet a group of sisters on that same frequency, they sync. They call it the syncing of the Sibyls is what it's called. The syncing of the Sibyls ties them into the prefrontal lobe of the collective unconscious egregore. It's the driver's seat of humanity. They become the conscience of humanity.
Okay.
And as the elder mothers sync, which means tie into one another, then the up and coming mothers begin to sync with the elder mothers by proximity. So she was giving you a great sign of the returning rise of the matriarchy when all of the women's misses sync. But the thing is, for a period of time while they all synced, none of them are going to get pregnant. It's a spiritual working that's taking place, and that energy will not facilitate a zygote being able to go to the first trimester. And so most of them will never know if they got pregnant during that period because they're going to spontaneously abort because all of the uteruses is doing what we call genetic cleaning of itself in order to facilitate the new codes of the next DNA program of the species known as humans.
Wow.
So when they sync up, they correcting all of the DNA errors. The mitochondria have been scanning the whole time, all DNA. So when they sync, they know how to correct the problem because you got so many scientists and doctors that's had eyes on so many parts of the body that's going to be synced in this same frequency that they'll automatically put the answer together to the problem. This is why they were always utilized in Atlantis, because once they sync, they can solve any problem because they in every walk of life.
Right.
So now they can draw from every walk of life to bear upon a single problem. And it gives them so much overwhelming information to solve the problem that it's simple.
So it's like we're helping helping her shed,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So we facilitators of the process they call evolution, but the Darwinian model is just the wrong interpretation of the model of evolution. The women's mitochondria upgrade the codes that's on the codons of the DNA. And when she does that, the species of hominids change. Our bodies begin to look different. Our physiology begin to take a new form. So we don't look like Neanderthals or Cro-Magnon man. We look like modern man, right? Which is distinctly different from any other australoids they've excavated to this point. Because the mothers, we live out a certain period of time under a set code. This is why the future is wrote in advance as the history. So Elijah Muhammad say every 24,000 years, the 24 scientists convene to write the history of the next cycle. So they always write history in advance because they lay the script out, then you play the script out. You can't play the script out if there's no script to play. And then
Right.
everybody write their book of life and contribute to the script in order to give it substance. Right? So when you look around in the world, you're seeing all of these people are seeing everything we looking at from a different angle than we seeing it. How many people can you count? That's how many different directions can be bared upon one topic.
Right.
Now,
Right.
when you use your holographic memory, you able to see the world from everybody's perspective that you see looking at the same thing. So now you can see what everybody else see, and then you can add it to what you already see. You have more information for decision making than you would if we would have only relied on what you see alone. That's
Right.
the only reason why we read, to learn different perspectives, and it's weightlifting for the brain. It's physical fitness for the brain. Otherwise, we wouldn't need it.
Right. Right.
Right. So it's exercise for intelligence to become more intelligent. And it allows us to use the holographic paradigm in order to see every problem from so many angles that we automatically got to find the solution. Because we already know
Right.
that the solution to the problem is always in the problem itself. It's just how you look at it that determine if you could see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, sweetie, it's been good talking to you. I thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
coming up, gracing us with your beautiful presence.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me once again, and thank you for everything that you do and how you just serve. You serve all of us, and you serve the purpose. So I thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie. All right, I'm gonna let somebody else come up now. Okay.
Alrighty, peace.
All right, peace. I'll bring my sister out, the high priestess, see what she doing. Christina, you better not be then left. Shit, I think Instagram stopped me from taking up guests. Let me look up and see what this is. Okay, she wasn't there. Damon Dim 2050, what up, Chief? You right, Drak Haru. Dr. Ka Haru. Yeah, breaking out of the illusion. Okay, I got one more person there I can invite up. And if this one don't work, I'm gonna bid y'all adieu for the day. And Mac Man 144. Look, that stuff so scattered. You just have to read everything you can about the 105 facts about the American Indian. I think is a good one. Um, it's a book called, I think it's called When the Indians Were Black or something like that. It's a lot of books. I put a lot of references all through my posts up and down my page. Some of my posts is just book references. Those are down further in the post where it's just got a lot of good books. But if you want a good resource, go to YouTube and check out Karimu Ahu on YouTube, and he got the books. He be reading them to show you what he's saying, and he got video upon video, hundreds of hours of him reading the academic materials that verify almost all the stuff that we be talking about. We just using it in real time to roll out the new government, and we at the grand finale now. So it should take only a couple more weeks for this shit to play out. But I can't tell you what it's gonna look like or how we gonna get notified. I knew that one of the things is that those CIA assets that was news reporters will be replaced by truthers. Yeah. Okay. I got one. Somebody just popped up. The last three people I tried to let in didn't come in, but this is a new person, so they probably got tired of waiting and left the show. But Blue Poetry, Peace Chief.
What's good? What's good?
Mm,
So,
What's going on with you? Might as well chop the game up. You the last one. When I hang out with you, I'm going to sleep.
no doubt. I just wanted to pay my respects. I've been watching for a minute. I never really got a chance to request because I always catch you like on YouTube and all that. But somehow this time I got the notification that you was live today.
Yeah. So, what you think? You've been watching the work we've been doing?
Definitely been watching you for a few years now. Definitely been sending the links to people who I know will receive the information, who I would hope to receive the information. So I had a couple women that I know who've been planning on having children, like sign up to your services. Then you got like a doula services and all of that. So I appreciate that. Because we kind of need help in that area. And then all of the information about all the alignments that's been going on, just staying tuned in. Just staying tuned in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on, especially with the solar radiation from the solar storms. That's where all
Right.
of the data coming in for the source codes.
Right. I noticed there's a lot of like it's been a shift. I noticed like specifically since the pandemic, has been a shift, and I feel like that's like, I remember like even before the pandemic, I felt like a shift, but I felt like the pandemic was a big frequency change. Like a lot of things began to change during that time, and I felt like the pandemic was kind of like the quote unquote like what they call the pandemic was kind of like a distraction for the fact that there was a lot of new downloads coming and they wanted to distract certain people, but I don't even think it worked because people who needed to transition, people who needed to upgrade it during that time.
Well, that's one of the reasons why everything was shut down. When everything was shut down, people got bored, and people who didn't normally look at like social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, started looking at it,
Right.
right? And now, while people like me, B-Dale, Yaki Awaken, Brother Collide, while we are talking about what we're talking about, it's forcing people that wouldn't have normally looked at their social media to see us popping up in their feed now. And
That's a fact.
then,
I used to post a lot like prior to the pandemic, and then like with the pandemic happening, I started to slow down on posting and like dove a little deep into the information that was out there, even though I was already tapped into information prior to that. But like during the pandemic, it kind of like forced me to like really do way more research. I started to go from like reading like 14 books a year to like 40 books a year. I was able to like tap in a little more deeper during that time.
yeah, it's because everything is quiet. Look, when the witching hour happens at night, that's the quietest time of the night, between 3 a.m. and 4 or 5 a.m. But the witching hours from 3 to 6. But during that period, your psychic energy, when you harnessed it and you've been exercising your aura is so powerful, you can make stuff happen and it look like magic, but it's science,
Do you think that
spirit science.
you think that the time zones matter when it come to that? Like if somebody on the West Coast compared to somebody on the East Coast, Pacific time and Eastern Standard Time?
In the time zone, it just changes when you do your ritual in relation to somebody in New York, if you in LA.
Okay.
But harnessing the energy is universal. You can harness energy wherever you at in the known or unknown universe. It's just have you trained yourself to be strong enough to use the energy that you harness. Because if you're not strong enough, you won't be able to harness enough in order for you to use it to effect.
Type. A random question that just came to mind. Like, what you think about like tantra and like, healing with your partner? Like if I'm a man, I want to heal with my woman, or the other way around, a woman wants to heal with her man tantrically.
You mean like tantric sex?
We had tantric sex, or maybe even like just Reiki, like without having like sexual intercourse.
Well, when you feel like you won with your old lady, it's so much shit y'all can do together to produce effect in the world. The manifestation that they call the secret, right? When you got a female and a male, y'all two batteries going in a remote control. You got you could create a circuit. You cycle the psychic impression through the circuit by counting the circuit itself. You have to use your imagination and visualize in your mind that whatever it is you trying to bring into reality is in this loop, right? How you make the loop. You sit, if you can, sit in lotus position. But if you can't, you can sit in a chair. If because some guys' knees from being athletic, especially in this era, a lot of our knees is bad. We can't sit in lotus position, but we could sit on a chair or a cushion, right? She sit, you penetrate, then you take your tongue and put it in the roof of her mouth. You just made the circuit complete, right? And you, she's the one who's the manifester. You the one have to hold the focus in the now. Because whatever y'all agreed upon, she's cycling it through the circuit, right? You use something simple as a tester. You write on a piece of paper something simple. I'm gonna find a $5 bill, but this $5 bill gonna have 222 in the serial number, and it's gonna be so obvious I won't be able to miss it. Right? Now, once you write that down, that's what she's circulating in her mind. She's seeing the $5 bill and she's seeing the 222 on the serial number. Right? She don't have to see the rest of the serial number, just the 222. This is just how it's going to get your attention. Because how she see it is going to draw out to you in real life, right? So now that y'all have something, when you finally find the $5 that got your attention with the 222 on it, you can mark the time y'all done the act and the time you found the $5. That's called your turnaround time. Now, remember, the turnaround time changes the bigger the object you trying to manifest. And you have to take steps in the physical world toward the manifestation you're trying to produce. Right? If you're trying to manifest a house, but you keep looking for apartments, you're working against yourself.
Mm.
But if you're trying to manifest a house, look at the house that you would be able to live in without ever wanting to go anywhere as long as you was with her. Maybe we could do everything right here in the house. We ain't got to fuck with the outside world. It don't mean that y'all not going to fuck with the outside world. It means that the level of peace and comfort that the environment you're looking for gives you, make it where it's not necessary for you to ever leave the house to experience that peace and that solitude and that love energy.
Okay. So like pretty much you could start off with something as simple as a $5 bill, work up to a house, maybe even like work on things like healing from childhood trauma, pretty much kind of like not like making sex a little organized, but kind of taking a little more serious and just pleasure. Like maybe before y'all do things, y'all
The
have
pleasure is the key.
okay.
The pleasure is the key. That's the unlocking of the spiritual energy into the physical world. Because that's why you think you feel the pleasure, because it's activating the body. The body already in the physical. You trying to transfer spiritual energy into the physical realm. You trapping it in the pleasure.
Okay, so pretty much
Enjoy
physically,
the
we
fuck
already
out
halfway
that
there.
shit. Listen, enjoy the fuck out that shit while y'all stroking. Both of y'all. Right? The more you enjoy it, the more powerful it is when you use it for manifestation. Practice makes perfect. Remember that.
Okay. So we already halfway there. We just got to point that pleasure into the right direction, is what you're saying.
Yeah. The $5 is what you call a controlled experiment. The reason why you only pick the $5 because it's the easier for the universe to get it to you. Get it? So
I
it's
got
your test run. It's your frame of reference for how it works and how long it takes. But it don't have to be that. You could put it whatever you want. You can make it be a red ball with a thumbtack in whatever. But it got to be something that when you see it, it is pronounced and it's something small, right? The reason you want something small because spirit can move little things faster than it can big things, because it have to move more things into an alignment for the big thing than it do for the little thing to align. So you could be walking out the house to go to the store, and the dude at the store is cashing the lottery ticket and drop a $5 bill with 222 on it. You just so happen to walk into the store after he done left and been gone. You don't see no other customers in there. You're like, oh, look, a $5 bill. Reach down, pick it up. Damn, 222. He didn't know he was leaving you a $5 bill with 222 on it. Spirit was moving the $5 bill and seeing where you was on your way to the store. It had 222 on it, so it knocked it out his hand when he was putting his money in his pocket. And all the rest of his notes is fully intact. That's how spirit use that energy is easier that way. So now you got a frame of reference, right? So then you become a physicist. You can calculate a 2-gram note or a 1-gram $5 note and multiply how many grams go into this house I'm looking at. How long did it take for that note to get here? Multiply that by how many times that note fit into the weight of the building, and that's what you do. But remember, It'll reduce by double each day as long as you stay the course of trying to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
No doubt.
Yeah. So every day you can do one thing to, even if you take a glass of water and pour it on a plant in the backyard as a physical representation of your efforts, because you moving spiritual energy into the physical world. It requires you to do some physical movement so that you can open up the energy vortex for spirit to activate into the physical realm or to do work in the physical realm. So you're creating an energy vortex from source to physical world in order to facilitate change in the environment to give you a perfect alignment in all your steps. This was part of teaching the child how to create their best life a long time ago. Now the adults have to get the information so we can get it to the babies. They used to already know it because they used to be taught it as a baby. So it was easier to relay it to the youth. Now it's more difficult because most of the adults don't know it no more. So now we got to go on a campaign to educating adults so that they can liberate the children, so they can liberate our future. Because I don't care what you think, our children going to go way further in the future than we going to go. Most of us. The lucky ones. Because don't nobody want their child to leave before them.
That's a fact. Well, I got another question, another random question that just came to mind, and I do got like I might have a 16 for you if you don't mind me spitting for you.
Man, you know, that's my thing.
All right, but let me ask the question first, because I'm from New York City, and I noticed like there's a lot of like people who dropping the knowledge from New York City. Like, what's the special thing about New York City? We got like Brother Rich, we had Brother Panic, you know, rest in peace. We got A. Rashid, Bobby Hemming used to go there all the time, C. Free Manel, what's the OG? We got Eileen Bay, we got it's a whole bunch of people from New York City that's dropping the knowledge, and like I just feel like it's something just different about New York City. Like what's so special about New York City? We got Mfundishi, you know, so many people came through New York City that was dropping the knowledge.
Ain't New York called the Empire State?
Definitely.
Who's the empire?
The empire. I guess the emperor is the emperor, you know, like the rulers. Head.
You got to be somebody empire in order for that state to belong to the empire. They tell
You mean like
you in the name.
you mean like a specific person who actually was the emperor?
Look, it tell you in the name of the city. What's the name of the city?
New York City.
New York City. What's the name of the state?
New York.
That's an echo. It's reinforcing that New York is New York, and it is the Empire State. The Dutch was doing business with the tribes in New Yorkshire, but back then it was called New Amsterdam. But when they signed treaties, they changed the name from New Amsterdam to New Yorkshire. Then it became New York. But it was the first place that the chiefs got tricked out of a large plot of land by settlers with trinkets. They never intended to sell the land. This is the ODB Wu-Tang grievance. Shinnecock Nation of organic peoples to the land. So the reason so many people had to come to New York, it was ground zero for the false doctrines to be pushed into the communities. Remember, music doesn't change without the Harlem Renaissance, right? Stage shows don't take hold without Apollo, right? Um, diamond traders can't diamond trade without Manhattan because they got to keep the diamonds in the hat. And when somebody want the diamonds out the hat, you always pull out a trick, a rabbit. Because tricks are for kids, right? So the hat is Manhattan of the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter is the man with the top hat.
Mhm.
The man with the top hat is the man in the black suit standing at the crossroads, waiting to bring judgment on the enemy to his people. This is not only do the knowledge spring out of New York, breakdancing, which is dance combat to relay a message without actual bloody war. To keep with the contract edict, they use dance instead of combat to tell the secret out of New York. Father God Allah, Clarence 13X, affectionately known as Puddin', put into the public domain out of, I think, Brooklyn, the 120 degrees of the 5% nation of gods and earths. The 120 degrees, I think they gave it out in 19 lessons, I think, or was it 21? I don't remember the number. But these was all elders that was trying to unravel the conjure of the settlers that usurped New York. When you go back, Arthur Schomburg was the largest collection of historical works in relation to melanated peoples around the world, which gave us the Schomburg Library and Museum in New York, which became the capital for everybody that wanted to excavate our history and find out what happened because we was coming out of this amnesia. So you see a parade of elders marching through New York, and the Schomburg Library was a mecca for anybody that was working on the problem, which is the liberation of the original people for Turtle Island. The roadblock was the transatlantic slave trade, which was a side rail, what they call a collateral attack. The sensationalism of the numbers that came in the transatlantic slave trade to the mainland is used to cloud the vision of the ones that's waking up from the slumber, and they won't be able to remember that they was already here. But they're going to take the narrative that they came from somewhere else, and then they're going to build a confraternity. So the UNIA, right, function. The confraternity's purpose is to find out from the people in Africa if you from Africa or not, right? The people in Africa also was usurped just like us. So when we go and investigate, we find there's two groups of Africans that identify us differently, right? They just dropped the, this is the 5% science. I'm gonna pin it if I can. Just the 5% science.
I peep Supreme Math 1 to 10, 114, 136, 140, 12 joules, actual facts, solar facts, 120 degrees, mass.
Yeah. So all of these things, now um out of these assignments right here that he's naming, you get Rakim Allah, you get KRS One, you get LL Cool J, you get Jay-Z, you get Brother J from X Clan, and the rest of them all started studying at 5%ers. Whether they joined or not, I'm not sure, but all of them was into the studies of the 5% Nation of the Gods and Earths. Right? Brand Nubian, um, almost all of the groups that came out in early New York they came out speaking the lingo of the Nation of Gods and Earths to the public in the original rap songs. Like Rakim first song, My Melody, is loaded with 5% science and lingo. Right? But we don't know if we don't study the tribes from New York, because this is going to show us why all of these people was coming there. This is the epicenter of activity for our awakening, because it's one of the first places that we were sacked. Right? Also, the Delaware Indians, first state incorporated. Right? Also, the Virginians, where Big Mama called us all to war from to go fight the Gullah Wars in Florida. So you see different function or different activity take place in those areas. But it's all something that's tied to us putting the puzzle back together as to who we are. Right? Nikki Barnes from North Carolina. Frank Lucas from North Carolina. Bumpy Johnson, I think, from North Carolina. They all Gullah. They all went to New York and got rich using what the slave master allowed them to get rich on. We wasn't allowed into their business world. They was murdering us for it. So we had to come up with our own business models. So then they banned them and made them illegal. The government making stuff illegal to turn what we already doing to make money into a crime so they can punish us for trying to get out of poverty. Systematic, organized efforts to keep us down.
No doubt. So it sounds like New York is definitely like a big part of the shift. Is as much as other states, as much as other territories. But yeah, I'm gonna give that 16 before we get up out of here. And if you motivated and inspired to get something back, I don't mind. All right. Hopefully,
I'm a little too tired right now.
all right.
But I'm gonna listen to you though.
All right. So niggas think because they vegan and they meditate, their problems gonna be solved. They don't tell you once you start healing all your problems, they revolve. They evolve to that new nigga. You trying to become more money, more problems. How much problems do you want? Pick your poison. Once you clear your mind, it gets noisy. The universe is mental. Do you think you got choices? Everybody hear voices. Who listen to the right one? Matter of fact, who listen to dog? Cause ain't no wrong. Nah, who the fuck do we listen to in this environment? Old folks telling you the enemy is hiring. Young niggas hustling. Young bitches lining them. Dotted line their souls, hoping somebody signing them. But they don't see the signs though. We blind far as the mind go. I don't believe in time. I can thrive at any time zone. It's all frequency. You know that you a god, right? Let's call a spade a spade. You just gotta play your cards, right? Acting like an animal, but think you humane. It's the same thing. Can you master each plane? God, you complete all the parts, arm, leg, arm, head, Allah. There's more than 7 chakras. You think that you tapped in because you know the seed sounds and hum sacred black hymns. Lam, vam, ram, yam, ham, am, om. You want peace in this world, but there's war at your home. My mom's is my pops when my pops wasn't home and he was never there. She did it on her own. Immaculate conception, 9th child out 11. As above, so below. You in hell, this is heaven. Can't nobody teach you. You reach it if you're ready. Ain't no such thing as a secret. They won't do it if you tell them information, knowledge, wisdom ain't the same. You ain't a real player. You just talk a good game. Information, knowledge, and wisdom ain't the same. You hate school, but expect your kids to love it. That's insane. Black man, black woman, white dreams. It's European to call a bitch a queen. Hold on. I know that went over your medulla. A king is a king. Fuck the gender of the ruler. Money over bitches. Definition of misogyny. Believing you're the body. You'll be suffering till you out of it. You either thinking natural or you think logical. You programmed by the system or your ancestors guiding you. Either way, I'm
Well,
proud of you.
that shit lit. Look, when I get ready to do my music project, man, you don't want you in on that shit.
Say less. Say less. I
What you mean?
stopped because I could have kept going. But I didn't want to take up too much time. But this bar shit is what I do.
Look, what these niggas know about a life in the pen, making love to your wife with a pen. But in the end, you can't keep a chick with a letter. Sport coat, reading your letters, dick in the better, decreasing your cheddar. First sign it's over, but don't fret, nigga. It's time to be a soldier. On the small or big yard, take out your aggression. Resort to hard shit for a lack of affection. Ain't no protection from religious philosophers here. The first warning, predators feed on fear. I'm in my own zone. Shit, niggas keeping me stressing. I'm by my bunk late night, mama praying for blessings. Been gone too long, locked dead in the cell. Wait a minute. I've been gone too long, locked in the cell, doing hard ass time. These niggas sick as hell. 2 niggas got shanked last week in holy war. They claim to be religious, niggas rotten to the core. Well, sure you got some with a golden tongue, speaking redemption all the time, but their souls is numb. They got me cooking orange juice cause I need a drink. I caught the chronic on the yard, I need the weed to think. Hoping to release me for the streets to roam with freedom from stress, nigga. I'm in my own zone.
Let's go. Good looks. That you wrote that when you was locked up?
Yeah.
Tight. How
No,
much time?
actually, I wrote that when I got out because I was saying these niggas is throwing rocks at the penitentiary. They don't even know about the life in the pen, making love with your wife in the pen. You know what I mean? They don't know about that shit. They out here taking penitentiary chances, and they don't know what they facing when they get in there.
They're making love
Predators
with your wife.
feed on fear. When you go in there and you show your first sign of fear, you done. They like ravenous hyenas on your ass when they find out you scared. They finna diddy your ass up.
But that's when you tapped in, though, right? That's when you started to like read more heavily and started to tap all the way in, right?
I was look. I had caught my case. I was 17, right? I had been working on this shit since I was a little boy because I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Why I wasn't born into the same life of privilege that I normally am born into. And by the time I was like 6, I knew we had lost the war and got conquered, and that I had to figure out exactly what's the steps to get us back where I can have that life I normally am born into, and it's the redemption process. As a crown prince, I have to figure out certain stuff so that I can find the pieces to the puzzle to rebuild the matriarchy.
Wait.
Right.
Now that you chat, and you sound really similar to the Terrence Howard nigga the way he was chatting. Like he was chatting like he remember actually coming into the womb. Like he had a dream that he woke up in his mother's womb. And I remember you saying like you remember all of that. You remember the like literally being born and everything. And that sounded really similar to Terrence Howard. I don't know if you peeped his Joe Rogan interview where he was dropping all that science, bro. What you think about all that shit he was dropping? The 1 × 1 = 2, the the linchpin stuff he was dropping, the new technology, the patents, how they stole AI and stuff from him. What you think about all that stuff he was dropping? If you tapped into that.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I seen enough of it. I didn't have no major issue with nothing he said. You know, um, one times one depend on how you read the math, right? Two, I watched a math competition on one of these university channels that used to come on cable, and all these scientists was doing this math problem on the chalkboard. Three of them got the same answer, and one of them got a different answer, but wasn't none of the answers wrong. I
Hmm.
couldn't understand how the dude with the different answer wasn't wrong. He was the only one with the actual answer to the question they was asking that was correct. But the other three that came up with the same answer in the formula, they deviated by using a different symbol, which changed the value of the equation when it comes out at the end. He chose the symbol in making the formula that made it come out to the answer they was looking for. So they knew both answers already because they knew the symbol that would be interchanged based on the mathematician's background and training. So they know it's two possible answers for this. If this symbol right here is changed to this symbol, the answer would be this. If it's this symbol, the answer would be that. And
Okay.
it kind of, I was like, I thought mathematics was more precise than that. But mathematics is malleable because time is malleable. And mathematics is our method to calculate the phenomena related to the time dilation. So no matter how we looking at it, it's always playing out as a conceptual physics formula. By understanding conceptual physics, you can see it as it play out from the inside as opposed to seeing it on the paper. You can see it from inside of the play out in the world around you as a conceptual physics form. It's a story being told. So now that you know how to read the conceptual physics, you can put the story together by the motion of things around you. It's reading hieroglyphics of life, what we call it.
Hmm.
And
Speaking of
this is why
hieroglyphics, that's how I thought he was breaking down the periodic table. When Terrence Howard was breaking down the periodic table, he was like, the way they got it is all faulty, and they don't show the relationships between how certain elements are actually an extension of that element, right? Like this element is actually, I don't remember the exact elements, but he was like how carbon actually turns into nitrogen or something like that. You know, they have the same frequency, they have the same hertz,
yeah,
you know, or double hertz or whatever, so it makes it the same frequency, and like that made me think of like the different deities, right? How like we have uh you know, Aten was like how all of the deities is one, and it made it seem like that's how the periodic table is. It's like all of the elements are really one element that changes into each element, and it made me think of that. It made me think of like hieroglyphics. It made me think of like how all the religions are pointing to one thing, right? Like the way he broke down the periodic table, I'm like, he might be on to something, and if the world uh thought about science and math in a way that he thought about it and produced in that way, it would kind of shut down the economy because it would make us realize how much we're infinite when it comes to resources. And the way they give us science, the way they give us math, they make it kind of limits us so that we're dependent on it and we're counting and using it in a monetary way instead of in a infinite way.
you are absolutely correct. Math, when you learn math, it's supposed to teach you how to play chess in real life. It's supposed to teach you the principles of cause and effect to degrees, right? The information we process in as images is binary codes that's played out in the form of DNA constructs, but it's still binary coded information interface with computers. The biology of the human can interface with computers. They got an ancient computer in Tibet in the cave, and it has an interactive computer that scans your genetics, and then it tells you the part of the history of the world that you need to know for what your DNA code reads. And you can ask questions.
Hmm.
And then on the screen, it looked like you're talking to two AI people. That they talking to you like you talking to me, but they computer generated,
Hmm.
right? So they might scan your outfit and dress them in a similar dress that you're wearing so that you can relate to what they're saying better. And if they can frequency talk to you on a frequency that's telepathy, where they can communicate directly into your brain by frequency that can hear you by frequency return the response.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you though, Rod Hayes. My name Big Bay Cornell, by the way.
Where you at?
Well, I'm from New York City. I don't want to drop my location though.
Oh, okay, that's cool. You ain't gotta do that. I don't want to put nobody in peril, you know.
Nah, it's all good. I ain't running for nobody or nothing, but I just like to be on the low.
But you still respecting your privacy. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely from New York City. I'm always rep that no matter where I'm at, no matter where I go. So that's all my family at right now. So
Yeah.
born in the Bronx, raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Where Mike Tyson from. Who else in there? MOP, Shannon Briggs. I'm really a boxing fan.
Yeah.
Zab Judah. So yeah,
Yeah. And New York done put out some nice fighters over the years. You
definitely. They
know why, right?
them.
Some of them dudes grew up scrapping in the streets.
That's really how it is. Like in New York City, like you gotta you gotta know how to defend yourself walking outside. Like if you want to be outside, you want to be a homebody, you want to stay in the crib, stay in the crib. But back in the day, we chilling outside and we just gonna test each other. That's just how it works in New York City. Like literally.
Bitch, how you gonna know who gonna grow up to be the alpha if you ain't never test yourself?
It's a fact.
Men, boys have to start establishing dominance when they hit puberty so that they don't have to fight when they become adults.
That's a fact.
Right? And if they do have to fight, they got a support crew with them. Right? That's how you end up getting in gang fights. Because you're not finna just beat my homeboy ass like that. It's not just finna go down. And not
Nah,
while I'm here.
real
And
shit.
then he got a guy on his side that's saying the same thing to my man. Oh, you ain't just finna beat my homeboy down.
That's a fact.
Right? So we both going like we gonna break it up. Next thing you know, me and him scrapping.
For real.
And him and my other homeboy, they over there scrapping. And then before you know it, everybody out here scrapping.
And the funny shit is, as teenagers, we all fight each other, and we friends though. Like, in few weeks, we all hanging out together, and like we ain't gonna let no
It's,
other hood come and mess with us. Like the same dude we fight with, we just know we know how he get down now. Now I know he can fight, he know I can fight, and we cool now. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't really how beef was back in the day. Like we ain't really fight. And you got beef because of a fight. Like I don't know how people get to know. This a different type of beef now. It's just a different type of beef now. But back then we fought and we was cool. Like a lot of the people we fought, we was cool with. Like we'd chill, smoke with them, drink with them, vibe with them, grow up with them. No, we ain't never
that's
let
how
a fight. Just
That's how.
separate.
Now that was before they put the instigators in our community because they hired people. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. They literally put people on payroll. That when y'all get done fighting, if he one of y'all friend, his job is to soup you up to bust a cap in that nigga. Why you mad? They paid them to do this to us. That's why we got these Bloods and Crips killing themselves. GDs and Stones, GDs and Vice Lords, Stones and Vice Lord, because they keep sending instigators in. Whose job it is to catch us when we mad at somebody and convince us to kill them, so the system can get a 2-for-1 deal.
Mm.
One nigga off the street, another nigga in the cage.
So they ain't never stopped the COINTELPRO.
No, they still got instigators that's on payroll in the community right now. The
Yeah, I
good
feel like
thing
there's a bunch of
is,
instigators online too, with all of the every time you see somebody dropping information, next thing you know, they videos down, they in jail. It's like, what's going on?
yeah,
So I feel like they got
that's
COINTELPRO in a lot of the online intellectual communities.
yeah. The COINTELPRO evolved. They split up in the factions. You had the ones responsible, the police and the conscious book crew. These was all the brothers in the 90s and early 2000s that was telling you what books to read to get the information out. They was being tracked through library cards and ISBN numbers at checkout registers. They got certain books that was flagged, and whoever got that book, they sent the notice because that ISBN number was active of who bought that book, and if you was part of certain groups, then they start trying to set you up for the instigators and infiltrators to come in. Right? They got another thing they was doing is like they was sending in people to hijack business in corporate America, sending in bribing union officials, the corporations bribing union officials, paying them under the table to not get the workers a good contract. It benefit the immediate person, but it don't benefit the working people that they represent, right? And they stubborn in doing their dirt because when I left GM, one of the catalysts was this: the uh, negotiating committee was under federal investigation um, for fraud, for embezzlement, for bribery, and other racketeering related crimes. They continue to pursue negotiations with the auto company while it was actively under a federal investigation and several indictments had rolled out. Now, the problem with that is this: the both parties is supposed to come to the negotiating table with the highest expectation of propriety at the outset of negotiations. When you under federal investigation and people getting caught and indicted for corruption, they can't negotiate because they are being looked at. If they didn't arrested 10, they looking at everybody. If they looking at everybody, the appearance of propriety is tainted. So now they going to still try to negotiate the labor dispute with the corporation,
Mm.
which ended up taking the workers on strike. when they could have got anything they asked for if they wasn't trying to get bribes. Then they got caught. Just saying. The people I work with, they didn't understand what I was talking about. They thought I was crazy. So I had to do it a different way. I had to challenge the corporatocracy to a corporate chess game, and I whooped their ass, checkmate in 11. And I got the receipts to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
All right,
appreciate you.
man. I'm about to call it a night. I ain't gonna take no more callers.
No doubt.
So it was good talking to you, though.
Yeah, likewise, bro. I'm gonna take you up on that offer on them bars whenever you get your music project ready. I'm here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be working with some legends too.
Say less. I'm gonna DM you so you have my info.
Yeah,
All right, buddy.
yeah. All right, peeps. I'm about to call it a night, and y'all heard the public service announcement earlier. Notice to the clans, and then I did 2 Q&A videos, and I'm spent now. So I'll talk to y'all later. Keep up the good work.